Here's a 10-minute video on replacing the AC compressor in your classic Mercedes. This is my first try at the job, so there's several mistakes, but we see replacement can be achieved without disrupting the radiator, the power steering, or any fluid system by partly dropping the subframe. First step is gathering materials. That includes a new AC Delco 222 double-5 pump, receiver dryer, mineral oil, and switches. Just loosen the 19mm motor mount bolt. Just loosen up the sway bars. Okay, sway bar is loose. Okay, remove a caliper and hang it. Support the engine under the oil pan. Loosen the bushings. Two left. Subframe drops down about 3 inches. Plenty of room to pull out the compressor. We need to unbolt the compressor. Some of these bolts are down, still difficult to get to, so we'll use the air ratchet. Okay, it's all unbolted. Let's see if she pulls right through. Yes, it comes out easily. Old pump. Now that the compressor's out, you can easily see the 4 bolts that had to be removed in order to get this thing out of here. There's 1, 2, 3 down there, 4 up there. Those are the 2 Allen, and of course the plumbing. Kind of in a tight spot. Couldn't pull that out without lowering the subframe. Old pump versus new pump. The old pump is a Harrison, labeled 10 ounces of oil. Of course R12 uses mineral, not PAG. New pump, we'll put 10 ounces of oil in it. Delco, much lighter, easily picked up. Transfer the mounting bracket. Mounts are the same, but the AC Delco plumbing is about 1 inch higher than the Harrison. So the ear of the mounting bracket needs to be ground for clearance, and the hard coolant lines will move up higher in the engine bay, fortunately clearing the hood. I gotta remove the receiver dryer. Anytime you open the system, this thing has to be renewed. Adding refrigerant oil to the compressor. That's 100 mils of mineral oil. I don't want to use PAG oil because that's not compatible with 3-on-12. These bolts are in a tight spot and no place to leverage. So what you want to do is use a self-turning ratchet, something like this, or use your air tool where you don't have to go back and forth with this torsional round and round. Put a little bit of weather stripping caulk, or what they call dum-dum caulking compound, in the socket so the bolt sticks there, doesn't come out. Good, caught right away, and we're in business. Well, obviously it's now finger tight, and just to get it to the right torque, I'm going to use the air tool. This is removing the hardline bracket that Carl refers to online, because the hard lines on the compressor are not exactly in the same position as with the original Harris. You drop the subframe, you can see there's good access to the compressor nuts from the bottom. Some of these bolts are in extremely tight spaces. Here's the number 8 Allen hex head that's on the aft side of the pump. All buttoned up, 3 bolts at the back, 3 bolts in the front. While you're in here, might as well check the cradle bushings, which I know are in great shape, and the engine mount, which to me looks pretty good. I think it's never been replaced, but I'm going to leave it alone. Oh, by the way, it's a lot easier to disconnect the brake line rather than unbolt the calipers to get the cradle down. Make sure the shock hole goes through the where it should go. Assemble a receiver dryer. Here's a new pressure switch using the Euro brand, which was cheap but questionable in quality. But this Euro receiver dryer seems to have a decent sight glass for when we were filling with Freon. Standard R12 connection on the low pressure side. Could use the high as well. Using a vacuum gauge here to measure how much vacuum I'm pulling using the vacuum pump. Of course, the vacuum pump evacuates all the air, but most importantly all the moisture. But right now we're doing a leak test. The leak test shows us 28 pounds or negative 28 psi, and we'll come back in a couple hours and see what kind of pressure we hold in this system. First thing to do is shut off the pump. We have a valve here to isolate it. So we'll shut this valve between the pump and the air conditioning. We'll see if it holds 28 negative vacuum. Alright, the pump's been off for about an hour and we have still a good vacuum on the system. It looks like negative 24 psi, which means the new compressor is and the plumbing is pretty airtight. So we'll pull another vacuum to get all the residual moisture out and ready to fill with Freon. Here's my DuPont Freon 12 that I bought on eBay a few years back for 300 bucks. 30 pounds of Freon, of course, got more expensive in recent years because this thing is getting more and more rare. Of course, as of 1992, you can't vent into the atmosphere, but we're not going to do that because we're just going to fill it using a gravimetric method, meaning we're just going to weigh it before and after we charge the system. Some people like to use the EnviroSafe, which is a propane, mostly propane substitute for R12. It seems to have about the same cooling capacity, but of course the contrast there is propane is a very flammable gas, whereas Freon 12 does not burn. Here's my EPA 609 certification for working with Freon. Remember to tighten the belt on the new compressor and get in there with an open-end wrench. Alright, pulling one final vacuum on the system by picking up the vacuum pump, pulling about 26 negative psi. The actual pressure does not matter. What matters is leaving this pump on for about a half hour to make sure that I evacuate all the moisture in the system, because Freon's not very tolerant of water vapor. Alright, this has been running for an hour. I've got distracted, so let's disconnect it and we'll hold vacuum. Shut off the vacuum pump. Alright, filling it slowly with just the pressure of the Freon tank. The engine off, just to give the initial, break the initial vacuum and get some Freon in the system. Just using the tank pressure, looks like we got about 60 pounds, but these gauges are notoriously inaccurate, so we'll start up the engine and see. Alright, 36.6 is the tare weight. We'll go to 34.4 and use the sight glass from there. About 2 pounds down. Looking at the receiver dryer sight glass. Any bubbles or foam, so it might be very close to being filled. Good condensation on the low side, that's a good sign. Well, I discovered my socks are getting soggy with the air conditioning working, so here's a bent coat hanger to clean out the condensate drain. If I get my air gun in there, I'll blast some air through there. Alright, we're blowing 40 degrees at the vent, 40 degrees F. Air conditioning on full. I hope we're ready for the next 100,000 miles.